You're born in the dead of winter, during a storm so violent the villagers believe it's a sign from the gods. Your mother screams through the night while wind tears at the longhouse walls. When you finally enter the world, you don't cry like other babies. Instead, you stare with wide eyes, fists clenched as if already preparing for battle. The midwife crosses herself and whispers that you carry something ancient in your blood. You're 3 years old and already different. While other children play gently with wooden toys, you grab a practice sword and swing it wildly, laughing when it connects with anything solid. Your father watches with a mixture of pride and concern. He sees the way you throw yourself into wrestling matches with older boys, the way you don't stop even when you're bleeding. He recognizes the signs because his brother was the same way before they sent him away to become a berserker. By the time you're 5, the entire village knows what you are. You bite other children during games. You howl at the moon like a wolf. Your mother tries to calm you with gentle words and warm milk, but nothing works. The rage builds inside you like a trapped animal clawing to get out. The village elders gather at your father's hearth to discuss what must be done. You're 7 and they make the decision. A berserker from the king's guard visits your village, an old warrior named Bjorn who wears a bear pelt so ancient it's nearly bald in places. He looks at you for a long time, studying your eyes, watching how you move. He tells your father that you must leave before the next winter, before the rage inside you destroys everything you love. Your mother weeps, but your father knows there's no other choice. You're 8 years old and the other children already keep their distance. You don't cry when you fall. You don't flinch when thunder cracks overhead. Instead, you laugh wild and loud like something inside you is waking up. Your mother watches from the doorway, hands gripping her apron, worry carved into her face. She knows what's coming. The day Bjorn returns to take you away, she gives you a small wooden bear your father carved. You throw it in the dirt and walk away without looking back. The journey to the training grounds takes 3 days through dense forest and up into the mountains. Bjorn doesn't speak much, but he watches you constantly. When you stumble on the rocky path, he doesn't help you up. When you complain about hunger, he ignores you. By the 3rd day, you learn to stay silent, to endure, because that's what berserkers do. They endure everything. You're 10 and you live with 12 other boys in a camp at the edge of the wilderness. The older berserkers teach you to hunt, to track, to move through the forest without making a sound. But the real training is darker. They wake you in the middle of the night and force you to run barefoot through snow until your feet bleed. They make you fast for days until you see visions. They beat you without warning to teach you that pain is just another sensation to ignore. One of the boys, a thin kid named Eric, can't handle it. He cries every night begging to go home. The berserkers show no mercy. They tell him that weakness is death, that crying is surrender. One morning, Eric is gone. Some say he ran away. Others whisper that the berserkers took him into the forest and he never came back. You stop asking questions and focus on survival. You're 12 now and the training has already begun to reshape you. You live in the wilderness with other boys like you, boys who don't belong anywhere else. They teach you to move silently through the pines, to endure cold that bites through skin, and to sleep on frozen ground without complaint. Food is scarce, pain is constant, but you don't complain. Complaining is weakness. The older berserkers show you how to enter the state they call berserker gang. It starts with fasting, with isolation, with rituals whispered under moonlight. They burn herbs that make your head swim, henbane and bog myrtle, plants that twist your senses and pull something primal to the surface. You learn to bite your shield until your teeth ache, to pour icy water over your body until your muscles scream. Each ritual pushes you closer to the edge. You're 14 and you kill your first man. It happens during a raid on a coastal village. The berserkers bring you along to test you to see if you're ready. When the battle begins, something inside you breaks open. The world goes red. Your vision narrows to a single point. You don't remember picking up the axe or charging forward. You only remember the feeling of invincibility, of being more than human. When you come back to yourself, you're standing over a body, blood covering your hands and face. The other berserkers nod with approval. Bjorn claps you on the shoulder and calls you a true son of Odin. But that night, alone in your tent, you stare at your hands and wonder what you've become. The rage felt good, better than anything you've ever experienced. And that terrifies you more than the killing itself. You're 16 and you've become something else entirely. Your body is thick with muscle, your mind sharp with focus, but also fragile like a blade held too close to fire. The other Vikings look at you with a mixture of awe and fear. You're no longer one of them, you're a weapon. The berserkers give you your bear pelt, a ritual that marks you as one of the chosen. You wear it during the ceremony while the others chant prayers to Odin and Thor. When the call to raid comes, you're placed at the front of the longship. The sea is rough and cold, but you barely notice. Your mind is already elsewhere, preparing for what's ahead. You chew the edge of your shield, feeling your heartbeat rise, your breath quicken. The world narrows, your vision sharpens. The other warriors give you space, afraid to get too close when you're entering the Berserker gang. You're 18 and the battle begins at dawn. The enemy forms a shield wall, their faces pale with fear as they see you and the other Berserkers advancing. You howl a sound that isn't quite human and charge forward. The rage floods through you like fire. Pain vanishes. Fear dissolves. You feel invincible, like steel and flame cannot touch you. Arrows strike your shield, one grazes your arm, but you don't feel it. You don't feel anything except the pure, burning need to destroy. Your axe swings and bodies fall. You bite your shield between strikes, foaming at the mouth, your movements wild and brutal. The enemy breaks before you, their line shattering like ice. Behind you, the rest of the Viking force surges forward, taking advantage of the chaos you've created. You are the storm that breaks their will. You are what nightmares are made of. But when the battle ends, the fury doesn't leave cleanly. Your body trembles violently, muscles spasming, sweat pouring from your skin. You collapse, shaking and weak, unable to stand for hours. The aftermath of Berserker Gang is as brutal as the battle itself. Your strength drains away, leaving you hollow and vulnerable. The other warriors set up camp around you, but they keep their distance, watching you with wary eyes. You're 20 and the scars are piling up faster than the victories. Each raid takes more from you than the last. Your hands shake even when you're not in battle. Sleep is rare and filled with nightmares of blood and screaming. The other warriors talk around fires, sharing stories and ale, but you sit alone at the edge of the light. They don't invite you closer. They never do. You're too dangerous, too unpredictable. One wrong word and you might snap. You've killed more men than you can count, broken more shield walls than any warrior your age. Yet the glory feels hollow. The songs sung about berserkers never mention the emptiness that follows the rage, the way your body feels like it's rotting from the inside. The chiefs praise your name, but they won't meet your eyes. You're a tool to them, nothing more. A weapon to be pointed at enemies and discarded when the battle is done. You're 22 now and the king has chosen you as part of his personal guard. You stand with 11 other berserkers, elite warriors who serve as his bodyguards and shock troops. When he goes to war, you go with him. When he feasts, you stand behind his throne, silent and watchful. You're feared by enemies and respected by allies, but never truly welcome. Even the king looks uncomfortable when you're in the room. The other warriors keep their distance. They don't invite you to their fires or share their ale. You're too dangerous, too unstable. Even in peacetime, the rage simmers just beneath your skin, ready to erupt at the smallest provocation. You've attacked your own side in the heat of battle, mistaking friend for foe. They remember. They always remember. You're 24 and you begin to feel the world shifting beneath your feet. Christianity spreads across the north like a slow tide, bringing new laws and new ideas about order and control. The old ways, the warrior cults, the rituals to Odin are seen as barbaric now, relics of a darker time. Berserkers like you are no longer heroes. You're problems. The priests call you demons, saying you're possessed by evil spirits rather than blessed by the gods. The raids grow fewer. The wars grow smaller. Kings who once prized you now view you with suspicion. You hear whispers in the hall, nobles discussing new laws, new codes of honor that don't include men like you. The Icelandic law codes begin to outlaw berserkers entirely. Entering Berserker Gang is now a crime punishable by exile or death. The world is changing, and there's no place in it for warriors like you. You're 26 and the king no longer calls for you. The battles you were born for have stopped coming. You wander from village to village, offering your axe for coin, but most turn you away. They see the wildness in your eyes, the scars on your arms, and they know what you are, a relic, a ghost. Children point at you and their mothers pull them inside. Dogs bark when you approach. You're unwelcome everywhere you go. You try to settle in a small fishing village, offering to help with the boats, but the fishermen refuse. Their children hide when you pass. Their wives whisper prayers to keep you away. One night after drinking too much mead, the rage surfaces without warning. You destroy a man's stall, scattering fish and wood across the dirt. You don't remember doing it, but you wake up in the forest with blood on your knuckles and the sound of hunting horns in the distance. They chase you out with torches and spears. You're 28 and you've been cast out completely. The village you came from won't take you back. Your parents are dead, your siblings scattered or ashamed. The king no longer needs you. You wander the forests alone, living like the bears you once emulated, surviving on what you can hunt or steal. The rage is still there, burning inside you, but now it has no outlet. It turns inward, eating at you like a disease. Some nights you hear the howl of wolves and wonder if they're calling to you. Other nights you sit by a fire and remember the battles, the glory, the feeling of being untouchable. But those days are gone. The world has moved on and you're a relic, a ghost of a time when fury was sacred. You think about Bjorn sometimes, wonder if he died in battle or faded away like you're doing now. You think about Eric and the other boys who didn't survive the training. Maybe they were the lucky ones. You're 30 and winter comes hard. Your body, broken by years of violence and the toll of Berserker Gang, can no longer endure the cold. Your hands tremble constantly now, and the cough that started last spring has grown deeper, wetter. You find shelter in a cave, the same kind of place where you trained as a boy. The fire is small. The food is gone. You have nothing left except the bare pelt, worn and tattered, that you've carried for so many years.